Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech. Good to see you guys again, and I'm here with my 1-week review of the Mi 10 Pro. Now, I've been using this phone for 7 days now, and it's been a joy to use. Now, this color version I have is called Alpine White, and this phone was announced for 4,999 yuan. It is definitely the highest and most expensive Xiaomi flagship that we've seen in a long time, but I think there's a lot to still love about this phone, from the gorgeous matte back to this beautiful gold accent color to the really impressive 6.67-inch AMOLED dot display with 90 Hz smooth sync and a 1200 nit maximum brightness. This display is just gorgeous. You also got some really solid dual speakers on this phone, and the 108 megapixel primary camera has been shooting some great shots so far. Now, this is the China version of the phone. The global release will be coming very soon, but just for now, I wanted to answer some of the questions you guys have been throwing at me. Just a few quick FAQs here, and the first one was about the display. Is this display really that much better than the one on the Mi 10? And yes, I do have the Xiaomi Mi 10 with me right here. It's been a great phone as well, but I've been using the Pro quite a bit more, and I think color accuracy is something that is a very subtle thing for some people to notice, but I definitely do notice it, and you can specifically tell this when you're looking at a white display like this. The white point on the Mi 10 Pro is just a little bit warmer. It's a little bit more in line with the white point that I see from phones like the Galaxy S20 Ultra and from the iPhone 11 Pro Max, which are, let's face it, some of the best and most color accurate displays on the market. Meanwhile, the Mi 10 has this kind of cooler look to it. It's hard to kind of capture here in video, but when you see them right next to each other, you definitely can tell the difference. And so for that alone, if you are a freak about color accuracy, you'll want to pick up the Mi 10 Pro instead of the regular Mi 10. Now, the next question I've gotten about the display was the curved edge. Is this the same curved edge as the one we see on the Mi Note 10? Now, initially I had said yes, but then I went to the Xiaomi store yesterday, and yes, there is a pronounced curve on this phone. It's still a little bit larger than I would like, but over the last week, I found myself actually getting used to it. I don't dislike it as much as I initially did, and that's when I compared it, if you see these photos, to the Mi Note 10. The curve on the Mi Note 10 is so much more pronounced. It creates so much more of a warping effect on the edge of the panel, and you also get so much more ghosting. It almost looks green on the Mi Note 10 compared to the Mi 10 Pro, but when you look at it straight on, it's not obvious at all, and that really explains why I enjoy this display panel far more than I ever did the Mi Note 10s. The other question I've gotten is about battery and charging, but if you haven't seen my drain and charge test for this Mi 10 Pro, go and check them out. So in terms of charging, this phone basically goes from 0 to 100 in 58 minutes, and in my very intense battery drain test, it lasted for almost 8 hours and 30 minutes. So this is a battery champ. This 4,500 milliampere capacity will last you easily a day, day and a half of use, maybe 2 days with light use, and so I would not worry about that. But in terms of the wireless charging, that is something I haven't tested. Now, I do have a wireless charger from Xiaomi, and this is the 20-watt wireless charger, and this was the charger that became available when the Mi 9 was released a year ago. I'm still waiting to get the 30-watt charger, but this is a great option, and I think 20 watts for wireless charging is still plenty fast, and it is very much compatible with this Mi 10 Pro. The next questions I've had are related to pricing and availability. Is there going to be a Mi 10 Pro Global Edition? Yes, there is. When is the release? I'm thinking, guys, it is in this month. Within this month, there will be a global release of this Mi 10 and Mi 10 Pro. And availability, you can expect, is probably hampered, and all of the supply issues. They need to actually get these units to India, for example, shipped. They don't make the Mi 10 Pro in the country itself, and that is the case with a lot of different countries. So because it's so reliant on the supply chain from China, we may see a delay because of that. Hopefully it will be here soon, because this phone is just terrific, and the Mi 10 is also a terrific phone. And the last thing I wanted to address in this quick video is the question that I probably get more than any other: is this phone worth it over the regular Mi 10. So Mi 10 versus Mi 10 Pro, and the Mi 10 is coming in at 3,999 yuan entry level. So we're talking around 550 US dollars versus the 714 entry level price of the Mi 10 Pro. When it hits other markets, we may be seeing an even higher price point for this phone. And this, remember guys, is the second tier option. It's the 12 GB of RAM, 256 gigs of storage version. So it's not even the one that is going to cost a little less. And let's face it, this is a question a lot of you Xiaomi lovers have been asking. Once these Xiaomi phones are getting to these higher price points, the competition gets tougher. And you're starting to see phones like the OnePlus 7T, the OnePlus 7 Pro, and the upcoming OnePlus 8 series that Xiaomi is going to be butting heads against. Now, in terms of hardware, I think they are completely ready for the battle. This is one of the nicest pieces of technology that I've used this entire year. I think the one area of possible worry will be in the software, and MIUI 11, while a great software, I still think needs a little bit of work when you compare it to other pieces of software like Oxygen OS, and I think even One UI has made a lot of improvements in its 2.0 version. So I guess that's where the Mi 10 becomes a lot more appealing, because at that lower price point, if you're in the 500 to 600 US dollar range, this is very much still a competitive phone. And if you can live with the glossy back, if you can live with the lack of a telephoto, the slightly less impressive display, and the slightly less impressive top speaker, then I think the Mi 10 is still a great option. And let's face it, it's still running the Snapdragon 865, so this is going to be a future-proof phone for a long period of time. And yes, the Mi 10 Pro is a little bit more expensive, but I think when you compare to the other 865 phones that have been released, like the Samsung S20 series, those are so much more expensive, and this phone is still undercutting all those devices. We don't know what the pricing of the OnePlus 8 series will be, but I can assure you it will probably be a lot higher than people expect. So for now, I still think the Mi 10 Pro is worth the extra money, but if you're on a budget and you want to get some of that Snapdragon 865 goodness, go ahead and pick up the Mi 10. You will not be disappointed. So that's it for this video, guys. Hit me up with any other questions, comments you have about this Mi 10 Pro. I'm loving it so far, and I will be continuing to keep it here on the channel to test it compared to other releases. But that's it for this one. If you liked it, give me that thumbs up. And if you love the content of Frankie Tech, subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon for future updates. And thanks for watching the battery series, guys. Those take forever to make, so I do appreciate all the support there. And that's it. This is where I leave you by saying, this is Frankie Tech, signing off. Have a good one.